every mayor. I have known all the candidates that have run, and in this case, we're just talking about the mayor, okay? Because the other council people already got elected and then they're running, so I'm just going to talk about the mayor. I have known every single candidate that has run for mayor for Corpus Christi, okay? And the only ones that we call the viable candidates, the ones that had a chance to win, there has been, in all this time, which is 48 years since 1969, there has only been, that I know of for a fact, that were really connected to the community, and that was, and it's a shame that, and in a way it's good also, and that, the first one was Chat McGill. Chat McGill. As far as I have known all the candidates that have, or all the people that have been in office, Chat McGill has been and is one of the smartest people that we have had in public office. And he is really, or has been, and continues to be a real true family man, okay? And he's also he did care for the West Side. And it's so funny that the second one comes real close to Chat McGill, and that's Mark Di Carlo. Because what I know of Mark Di Carlo, he really cares for the people and for things to be done the right way. And I don't know of anybody that has been a candidate before, and those that have won and become mayor, I have never known anyone to be in the same caliber as Chat McGill and now Mark Di Carlo. Okay? So I'm hoping that by the next 30 radio days, and the reason I say radio days, because remember, I'm not here Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Okay? So for the next 30 radio days, if you listen to this program and you really love the truth, you really love Corpus Christi, you really love to have a good future for you and your family, of all the candidates that are running right now, Mark Di Carlo is the only one that can do that for us. Okay? Now, I'm going to talk about elections because this is a prime example of how things should be and not the way things have been in the past. Since 1969, that I know of, and don't forget, this has been my home base. Now, I was gone for 4 years, and I've been gone to many places for 1 or 2, 3 days to go give a speech or go talk to a group or something. But Corpus Christi has been my home base. Okay? So I know what's happening here in Corpus Christi. And since 1969, I don't know of anybody that has taken the time to teach you what politics is about. I would say this has changed now. Now we have gone to the other side. The young kids today don't give a shit about voting or anything like that anymore. They just got their heads stuck in their iPhones. But in the past, back in the 60s and 70s, The only thing that people knew about voting was like going to the Buccaneer Parade. You went and did something. You sit there and watch the parade. At the end of the parade, you would go home, forget all about it, until a year later when the parade came back. You can say that the same way about the church. It's something you do out of habit. And you get dressed on Sunday morning and you go to church. You come home, you forget all about church and God and everything else. It's just something that you do. Well, voting has been the same for you because nobody has told you the importance of staying active every day of the year. All you do was to go on election day or maybe early voting, and all you had to know was to vote for a Democrat. And if you were Hispanic, vote for a Hispanic Democrat. And that's all you knew. You didn't know nothing else. You just went out and voted. So today, I attribute half of the problems that we have in this county and in this city, which is Corpus Christi, they are due to the way we voted for the last 50 years. And I can give you 100 examples, but I'm just going to give you a few, 5. Do y'all remember Joe Salem? He ran for Congress. That man, he helped a lot of people out of his pocket. And he started that Thanksgiving dinner at the Boys Club. Okay? And I know for a fact, because I used to hang out over there with his son in his office. A lot of people would come in there crying and asking for help, and he would help them. Sometimes he would pull out a roll of money from his pocket and give them a 20 or something. He really, if he would have won for Congress, this county and this district wouldn't be in the shape that it is in, because the candidate that won never did anything for this community. Only his close friends and relatives. Do y'all remember Mayor Luther Jones? Luther Jones was a field grade officer at the base. Do you know that Luther Jones had more cases against him on discrimination on from the what is it, the union there at the base? They had a lot of complaints. And yet when he ran for mayor, because Canehead was the boss, all he had to do was tell William Bonilla and Dr. Hector P. Garcia what he wanted, and they delivered. And you all voted for him, because anything that Dr. Garcia, William Bonilla, and later Carlos Truan, whatever they wanted, that was what Victor Lara with Comentarios and Domingo Peña with his program on Sundays, that's where they would go. You would never, in the whole life of Domingo Peña and Victor Lara Ortegon, never, not once did they go against the wishes of the doctor, of Carlos Truan, and Salomon Ortiz. Never. Lloyd Neal, that guy was a character, and he bankrupted this city. Now he's a friend of mine, and he might be a good steward as the county judge, but when he was the mayor, he put this city in bankruptcy. Of course, nobody filed for that, but that's where we were. And you all voted for him. And whatever the doctor wanted, and William Bonilla wanted, and Victor Lara, not Victor Lara, Bonilla, Dr. Garcia, and who's the other? Oh, Truan. I forgot. And Truan, whatever they wanted, LULAC and GI Farm wanted it. They had to. They had no choice. So, whatever Hayden had wanted, William Bonilla, Dr. Hector P. Garcia, and Carlos Truan had to deliver, and they used Comentarios, Domingo Peña, LULAC, and GI Farm to deliver. Henry Garrett. You all died for Henry Garrett. And up to that time, he didn't know much about anything. And you know who, nobody knows this, but you know who saved Henry Garrett? Off the record? Terry Chamsey. Terry Chamsey gave him a lot of advice. Now, the last example of that is Nelda Martinez. Nelda Martinez has never done anything for Hispanics. Never. Never, never. Not once. She's never voted for anything in the West Side. And yet, you all could hardly wait for election day to break your neck to go vote for a Hispanic woman. Because her mother speaks perfect Spanish and her two brothers were priests in the Catholic religion. You know, maybe all this that I said, maybe it meant well at the time. But now that we see the whole picture, we can't continue doing the same shit. We can't. It's not going to take us out of the hole. Oh, and you know, back 35, 40 years ago, people would say, this election is very important. Don't forget, this is 35, 40 years ago. They used to say, this election is very important. And it used to make me sick. Why? You know, when it came to the positive side, nothing changed. So why was it more important? Or why was it very important? Nothing was going to change anyway. But now, like I've been telling you for the last 5 years, things are changing. Nothing is the same anymore. So now that we're living in the negative side, if we don't vote right, or if we don't vote or vote right, the negative will grow bigger. So, to stop it from growing bigger, we do have to vote, and it is important to vote. It wasn't important 20, 30 years ago because nothing changed. It was in the positive side, but nothing changed. But today, that everything is going negative, it is important because if you don't vote or vote right, things are going to get worse. You understand what I'm saying? Now, right now, wait a minute, where's my paper? I don't know what's going to happen to Mark Scott. I don't know if he let me tell you, The council voted that he's not eligible. You know that by him not running, it's going to cost him at least $1 million that he's going to lose, because he's got a lot of things. He's had a lot of things in working, and he can lose up to $1 million personally. Lose $1 million. So he might get a lawyer to fight to be able to run, because he thinks he's going to win. Now, let me tell you what's so funny. This is ironic. I have never liked Mark Scott for the last 16, 18 years, because to me, he, in terms of facts, him and his wife have been the biggest beneficiary of the taxpayer than all the other public officials in the history of Nueces County and the city of Corpus Christi. He is one first-class crook. But now, with Nelda Martinez running for election, I was hoping that he would stay in. Okay? Because this way, he would split the vote with Nelda Martinez. I bet you all didn't see that. But anyway, right now, wait. Okay, I hit the button here. Right now, we have Nelda Martinez, Joe McCone, Mark Di Carlo, Reynaldo Madrigal, Larry White, Jonathan Garrison, and maybe James Hernandez. James Hernandez has not made it official yet. Okay, so right now there's only 6, right? Now, I don't know how is it going to turn out with Mark Scott, and I don't know if James Hernandez will run. He said he wanted to, but he hasn't made it official. So right now, the only 3 viable candidates is Nelda, Joe McCone, and Mark Di Carlo. Now, what you have to know, and I don't know why Nelda Martinez didn't get it, but you know why Dan McQueen won? Huh? The reason that Dan McQueen won was the same reason Donald Trump won. It wasn't that they were voting for McQueen. They were voting against Nelda Martinez. The same way with Trump. Over 1/3 of the vote that Trump got were votes that were just voting for him because they hated Hillary. In other words, if the devil, El Diablo, would have run against Nelda Martinez, the Diablo would have won. So now, 3 or 4 months later, she's running again. What makes her think that the people are not angry? Are still angry? Huh? Now, I know that the Hispanos, that a lot of them who voted against her 4 months ago are going to vote for her now. You know why? Because they're going to say, and this is the Hispanic voters, they're going to say, pobrecita, ella perdió antes, ahora le voy a dar mi voto. That's what they say. That's what they're going to say. 1/3 of the Hispanics who voted against her will vote for her because they're going to say, oh, I feel so sorry for her. The last time she ran, she lost, and especially to that crazy guy. So I'm going to give her my vote. And that's the only reason you're going to vote for her. It's just like, it used to make me so mad about 1/4 of the Hispanic voters in the last 49 years voted for Hispanics for only 2 reasons, or 3 reasons. First, because they recognize the name. Because the name was Hispanic. And because maybe 60 years ago, that person shook my hand and paid for my coffee and my taquito. And it didn't make difference that a few years later, that person was the worst politician in the world, but you kept voting for him just because he's Hispanic and because he's Democrat and because he shook my hand and paid for my taquito. And you voted for him for 50 years, even though he or she didn't do shit for you and your family and your community and your town and your future. You did not give a shit. All you cared was that he was Hispanic, he spoke Spanish, and he paid for my taquito. And this is why that's why one of the reasons we're in the mess we're in today. Now with Joe McCone, he's done a few things. We don't take that away from him. But I don't know, before he wasn't connected, but he's connected now. He's real friends with Joe Fulton, Ralph Durkin, Al Jones. Those are the people that run Corpus Christi. Why do you think that McCone is against the wind farm? They had already gone through all the process. The Navy had said, okay, no problem. But Joe McCone, Joe Fulton and all those, they don't want that farm there, that wind farm, because they want to continue building that way. So they got that airhead, Blake Frenthal, to rekindle the whole stuff, and now McCone is coming out against the wind farm. Now, a lot of you are going to say, well, Joe McCone had Operation Paintbrush. Or they're going to say, pobrecito, he lost his family. It was a tragedy. And we really sympathize with McCone. It's horrible to lose your family like that over there in the river, Canyon River, or someplace up there. And we feel bad about that. But that's not an excuse to vote for somebody. So there you have 2 people, and unless Mark Scott comes in with the court, they let him run anyway. And that's enough ammunition to vote against him anyway. If he so loves the city, he doesn't want to follow the rules. And you know what he said in that morning show? He said, Jim Lago, he said that he didn't care what the council said. He was running for the people. He was going to represent. In all the time that he's been on the city council, he has never given a shit about the people. But now he's talking about he wants to represent the people, and that's why he doesn't care what the council says. He's going to run anyway. So, folks, that's the only thing. Those are the people. And if you want somebody that is Bible, who do you got left? Mark Di Carlo. So even if you all didn't know Mark Di Carlo, by default, or because you want to get a new face, he would be the only candidate you got. Because I believe, like with Reynaldo Madrigal and Larry White and Jonathan Garrison, if you vote for them, it's a waste of vote. They're not going to win. So think about it. Now, let me clarify something. I've been told about a couple of weeks ago, I said that voting for these four people would be a waste of time. And so there's been a lot of people that have gone up to Reynaldo Madrigal, and they have said, I thought Vicente Carranza was your friend. Let me tell you, and I want you smart Mexicanos, I want you to listen. And this is one of the reasons this city and this county is so screwed up. Ray Madrigal is the second oldest friend that I have in Corpus Christi. Jesse Soto is the first one, but Jesse Soto, when we started in Lamar School in kindergarten, no, they used to call it pre-primer in 1946. So I knew Jesse Soto, and Jesse Soto used to hang around with me because my mother was the room mother, the only room mother that I knew in the whole school that would make cookies and cakes and everything for our class. And then she felt real bad, and then she started doing it for, like in first grade, for all the first grades, and I think there were 3 or 4 of them. But anyway, Ray Madrigal is the second oldest, and him and I have done a lot of things together. And he has helped me with photography and the program Verdades Y Chismes when I started back in 1994. But let me tell you, I have mentioned to you that love, the truth, and God are the same thing. And one thing you have to learn, that if you believe that, if you really believe in the truth and God, those 3 things come first, or more important than friendship and family. That's right, I said it. Though the truth and love and God are more important than friendship and family. Okay? I know Ray Madrigal, and I know for a fact that he is not qualified to be mayor of Corpus Christi. Okay? Especially the way the city is today. Now, I love Ray. He's my friend. Okay? But, let me tell you something else. If my wife, who is going to retire in 2 more years, once she retires, let's say she came to me and said, honey, I'm going to run for public office. You know what I would do? I would fall on the floor and start laughing. because she has never liked politics. And if I love my community, if I love you, why would I want to vote for my wife when I know she has never cared about politics or anything? Why should I vote for her just because she's my wife? That would be going against my belief in love, truth, and God. If my son, who is my life, because he's my firstborn, I love the other two or the other four, if he came up to me and says, Dad, I want to run for public office, I would say, Cuauhtemoc, let's sit down here and let's talk. And I said, son, if you want to run for public office, let's wait 2, 4, 6 years, and we can study, and I'll help you get all the information so you could learn about all the things about the office. And then when you run, you'll be ready, and I will support you. And my friends will support you. But he said, no, Dad, I want to run now. I would say, Temo, go ahead and run, but I won't support you. I won't support him just because he's my son. Let's say Jesus Christ or Jesus flew in. Of course, it takes more. You got to live here a month. But let's say he came in on an airplane yesterday, and he asked questions, and everybody told him, well, you got to speak to Vicente Carranza. He can give you a lot of information. So Jesus would come to me, and he would say, Vicente, I'm going to run for public office. And I would say, Jesus, when did you get here? He said, I came in from Bethlehem on an airplane yesterday. I said, Jesus, I can't support you. I can't support you. Just because you're Jesus, I ain't going to support you because he don't know a damn thing about Corpus Christi because he just came in. Okay, we're talking about the human Jesus, not the spiritual one. Because the spiritual one, he probably knew everything, right? But I'm just giving you an example. And that's the way you should be. You shouldn't be voting for your compadre just because he's your compadre. What if your compadre is a wife beater, and he's a drunk, he lies and everything else? You're going to vote for your compadre just because he's your compadre? That's like something stupid. So, you don't vote for your compadre just because he's your compadre. You don't vote for your family member just because he's a family member. You don't vote for your friend just because he's your friend. You vote for the truth because you love the community, you love the city, you love the people, and you want what's right for them, and you know that that person that is asking for your support does not have the qualifications to do that. So that's why I don't support Ray Madrigal. I love him, he's my friend. But love and truth comes first. You all understand that? Huh? Think about it. And that's why. So I don't go around saying, well, I thought he was your friend. Just because he's my friend, I'm not going to vote for my friend if they're not qualified. Or maybe it's not necessarily just qualification. It's to have what it takes to take care of business in the age of Trump. You know that? So folks, electing the right person for mayor, because everything is going downhill, is very important today. Okay? Think about it. Oh, and one more thing, and I got about 7 more minutes. I want to share one thing with you guys. And next week, let me see, next week, when did I say I was going to do Job? That was on April the 3rd, right? And next week is not that, right? Right. I'm having a senior moment. Next week, I'm going to invite my co-host, Roland, and we're going to talk again about this city. It's broke. It's broke. Okay? Now, they haven't declared it yet, and they'll be able to manage. They'll finagle the figures, so they won't have to say that. But any of these candidates that tells you, and this is one important thing that you got to remember. When any of these candidates, all 6 of them, when they say that they're going to fix the streets, that they're going to fix the drinking water, they are lying. They are lying. Folks, all of you, are going to have to stop crying about the streets. If your street has a hole in it, go around it. If a street that you like to use, it's got holes in it, use another street. You know why? Because they keep speaking about fixing the streets. Do you know that to fix the streets, all the streets today, it's going to take between 3 to 4 billion with a B. From 3 to 4 billion dollars. And they ain't got it. They ain't got it. Using my best English, ain't. They can't. They're gonna fix little streets, and you know, when it comes to fixing streets, they're gonna fix the ones that benefits the businesses, especially their businesses, and they're not gonna touch the neighborhood streets. They don't have the money. They don't have the money. The same way with the drinking water. We're gonna go into a boil this year again. Okay, the water's not very clean today. But you know how much money is it gonna take to bring all that stuff that they need to have clean water? It would take millions of dollars that they don't have. Okay? So folks, now, if the candidate would come and says, well, I'll be truthful with you, we won't be able to get to your streets and give an explanation, and we're going to try to do this, and it's going to take us the next 20 to 30 years, and you see that the candidate is being truthful, no problem. But if a candidate comes and they know that the streets are a problem and this is, we're going to fix the streets just to get your vote, if you vote for that person, you're as dumb as they come. Okay? So think about all this. We're in a bad place. And every single one of you, every citizen, every human being has the right to vote in the United States. One person, one vote. But you can't continue voting the way you've been voting for the last 50 years. You've got to vote with your head. You have to use your intelligence. You got to think. You can't vote for somebody just because they're Hispanics or speak Spanish or they pay for your taco, or because a tragedy happened in their family and you feel so bad. Vote. Nobody's telling you how to vote. What I'm telling you is use your head. Don't vote blindly. The way we've done it for the last 50, 60 years. We don't have patrones anymore. Nobody controls us. At least I would hope so. You have the power. Remember, way back when I used to tell you, you got two things in your pocket that everybody wants. Very powerful things in your pocket. That is the dollar bill and your voter registration card. Because with your money, everybody wants it. You spend it wisely to benefit you, not them. And the vote is to vote for the people that you know for a fact that they're going to do for you and your community. The whole city. Okay? And I truly believe, based on everything that I know, and I don't have no reason to be lying to you, today, of all the candidates for mayor, Mark Di Carlo is the only one that you should vote for. Okay? Anyway, I want to thank him. Thank you, Mr. Di Carlo, for sponsoring this program, Verdades Y Chismes. Okay? All right, folks, you know what? Don't forget, Thursday, we're going to give away that what I call it a supplement. Okay? It's a powder. It comes from the milk from cows, okay? And I've been taking it almost a month now, and it has made a big difference with me. I can feel it. And I've been taking vitamins since 1975. Okay? So you can come in. We're going to do it here in front of the station, and you can come in, and through the glass doors you can watch me on the air from 11 to 12. And then when I finish, you can look at all the pictures on the wall of all the family of Magic 104.9, and also the portraits of Humberto Lozano Lopez, Mrs. Lopez, Carlos, and Ernie, and everybody else. And you can see Sylvia in her pajamas and in her bunny costume. You know, she's the only woman, the only lady in the United States that goes to work in her pajamas. I think I'm going to come in my pajamas one of these days, okay? I will come the way I sleep, and then I'll go to jail, because I don't wear anything. All right, ya no voy. Folks, thank you for listening to Verdades Y Chismes. Tell everybody we're here Monday through Thursday. Friday is Homero Villarreal with Mr. Di Carlo also, okay? So anyway, have a good afternoon. It's going to be nice between now and Saturday, okay? It's going to get hotter and hotter, which I love. Anyway, you all be good. Thank you for listening to Magic 104.9 KMIQ, Rockstown, Corpus Christi. And we're the only homegrown station, a station that loves you guys because we're part of you, okay? So thank you. All right, we're going to listen to a little bit of Signal. And, okay, gotta go. I'm looking at the computer. I want to see what's next here. We're going to listen to the Homeboys, okay? After Signal. All right? I'll be the same. Thank you. I love you guys. I'll be the same. Ciao. Mispa. Sigo cantando con las tapadas, porque la guerra